Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. Welcome to today's video. So today we're going to be going over the Shop My Stash. So we're going to take a look at last month's basket that I had, and then we're going to take some things out, put some things in, and that's what I'm going to use for the next month, which is November. Crazy that we're getting into the last months of the year. Like 2020 went by so fast. I think it's because everybody was in lockdown. Let's go through my everyday makeup bag. I want to touch on some of the things that I used up. I want to touch on some of the eyeshadow palettes that I had in there, kind of give you guys like an overview, and then we're going to add to the makeup bag, subtract, all that fun stuff. So for this month, I was like super happy with myself because I was actually able to get some of the things that I wanted to empty out completely gone. Here are some of the things that I was able to completely empty, be done with. They're gone. And I actually had a goal to finish off these two for like the past 2 months, and finally I did it. So we have the Natural Finish Photo Focus Setting Spray. And this is from Wet n Wild. And then I also had the Milk Makeup Blurring Spray. These are both gone. Well, this one has a little bit left in it, but it was really hard to get out. It was like spitting all over my face, so I was like, we're done with that product. The last thing that I wanted to empty out, and I did, was the Hydrotouch Primer. This one's from NYX, and this one is like squeezed down to the bare minimum. Like I was like shaking and patting this thing. It is gone. Those are the 3 products that I was able to completely use up this month. I will actually go through and I will do a product empties video, and you guys can hear my thoughts and opinions on those, but I was just letting you know they were in my everyday makeup bag, and now they're used up. Oh, okay. Should really preface this by saying I feel like I have way too much stuff in my everyday makeup bag, and I want to simplify it. Yeah, like this is it's in a basket, and then it's also in a makeup bag. So I put all of my like powder product in a makeup bag, and then everything else I put in here, like eyeliner that I have open, some mascaras, and also the foundations that I've been using. And then all the face and powder products are in this bag here. And I just feel like I have way too much in here, so I want to simplify it. And basically, we are going to get rid of everything that is in this makeup bag, and we're going to rebuild it bit by bit. But I wanted to give you guys kind of an update on some of the things that I put in last month's makeup bag that I was like really excited to try because of the color stories, because of the actual product themselves, and like the brand that I chose. Let's talk about these really quick. Last month, I had these 3 eyeshadow palettes that I decided to incorporate into my everyday makeup bag, and I use these quite a bit actually. I use them in quite a few videos, like my Makeup and Mon Chat videos, and I use them in some like tutorials on how to get like fall eyeshadow. These 3 eyeshadow palettes, they ended up being used very frequently and very well. And I actually liked the combination of the warm tones in everything that I had picked. First one was the Urban Decay Naked Heat palette. This one I did get a chance to use quite a bit, and I was mostly sticking more in the like matte shades, and I didn't really use the berry like foil tones as much. I did use Scorched, which is this berry foil color here. I ended up using a stamping eyeliner brush, and I stamped it on and made it look like eyeliner when I did like a really matte neutral eye. That was so pretty. I was very impressed with this palette, and I think it fits really well with like fall makeup, being able to get that look that you want for fall because it has all those warm tones in there, but it's not like too orangey. It's like the perfect warm tone. We had these 2. We had the Festival and the Opposites Attract palette, the Magic Mini by Juvia's. So let's talk about this one first. This one, the color story is much brighter. It's a 9-pan palette, and I was able to use, mostly I dipped into the yellow, the red, the white, and some of these other colors in here. I didn't really have a chance to play with the blues as much. I was kind of disappointed in that, but I was focusing more on those like yellowy, orangey tones for fall, so I didn't really get to play with the blue shades as much, but I did really enjoy the other shades in this palette, like the reds and the yellows. Especially this color right here, Udagu. That one's really pretty, with this one underneath, the yellow color, which is Uro. And they're so pretty together. It picks up like the dark mustard yellow, and then putting the gold on top of it makes it look kind of like fiery. Actually, it kind of looks like my background, like when you put it on your eyes. I loved pairing it with the Naked Heat palette. And then the last one we had was the Opposites Attract. This one is a mini by Juvia's. This one I picked because I wanted to play more with like the blue tones and the green tones mixed in with some of the yellow tones, and you can see Braxton kind of got into it a little bit, but I was really disappointed in myself because I wasn't able to play with more of the blue tones. That was one thing, like I said, I wasn't able to play with more of the blue tones, and blue has been in for, you know, the past couple of months where it's like that warm eye with like a touch of blue in there. I was really dabbling more in like the yellows and reds for the past month. Overall though, these three paired together made amazing eyeshadows, and I definitely had a plethora of shades to choose from, which made me really, really happy. And I still want to dabble in more color. We're gonna set these aside. They are being taken out of my everyday. Everything's being taken out. Just keep that in mind. Everything is being taken out. Highlight, I had two in for the last month. One was the 10 Be My Highlight from Essence, and then the other one was the 40 Be My Sunlight. I've actually used this one quite a bit in so many different videos. Again, I just had way too many highlights in here. I felt like having two was just, it was a little bit too much. This one's more of a golden tone. This one's more champagne, so it's lighter and better for my skin tone. So I did enjoy Be My Highlight a lot more than I enjoyed Be My Sunlight. Be My Sunlight was nice when I wanted something super subtle, like I didn't really want like a lot of highlight on, but I wanted a little bit of something, so I would wet down my beauty blender and I would just kind of like pat it on a little bit. It's not a terrible highlighter, it's just a little bit too dark for my skin tone. It might work better in the summer when I have a little bit more color on my face. These are both getting taken out. Obviously everything is getting taken out. For the last month I was working on one mascara, and this was the 18-Hour Volume Stylist from Essence. This is not staying in my everyday makeup bag because I just found that I think I've had this open for about a month and a half now, and I actually found that the formula got really, really thick and it was really hard to work with. I really liked this mascara in the beginning. It was really easy to use. Like, it gave me really voluptuous lashes and they separated very full. But I've been finding lately, like, every single time I use this, my lashes get really clumpy. They don't have the same effect that it did when I first opened the tube, and I just don't feel like I think it needs to be thrown away. Like, I feel even after being open for a month and a half, like, you're supposed to replace your mascara every 3 months. This is just way too thick, really hard to work with. It's getting thrown away. Okay, so for blush, I had 2 compacts for blush this month. One of them I didn't even use because I just haven't had a chance to use it. So the first one is a Cover FX Blush Duo. It's a monochromatic blush duo. It has a matte and a shimmer. I really actually enjoyed this blush, and I really like the color. I think it fits really, really well with the transition from summer to fall because it is a darker shade. I did get this from the Ulta 21 Days of Beauty sale, so it was on sale for like, I think it was like $17 or something. I really did enjoy the blush formula. I enjoyed the shade. This one I used the entire month. It was my go-to blush, and it was very like pigmented, long lasting. It worked really, really well for the fall seasons. I really liked that I could use a matte side or the shimmer side, or I could like pair them together to create a really nice like deep blush tone on my face. The second blush that I had in my collection was this one here. This is the Honest Beauty Cream Blush, and it's in pink or rose pink. And this is a cream blush, and I was using this a lot, as you guys can tell from the packaging. Look how much I've used this. It's very worn in. And I do love this blush, but as the seasons are changing from hot to cold, I'm finding that I'm not using a cream blush as much. Actually, I have skipped over this cream blush for the past couple of months. It has been in my makeup bag, and I don't think I've touched it since like August. And again, for bronzer, I had 2. I had a powder bronzer, and I also have an Honest Beauty. This is actually a foundation, but I use it as a cream bronzer because like there was a whole fad of like cream bronzers, and I wanted to find a really great alternative. So this one is actually a foundation, but it's in a darker tone for my face, so it makes a really great bronzer for me. I haven't dipped into this one since maybe September. I really do like the really nice like contour it gives me, and I do like how nice and easily it is to blend on my face. But because we're getting into those cooler months, I'm not really interested in a cream formula right now. We have a Hula Bronzer from Benefit. This one is not cruelty free. I got it in a gift bag or gift set or something like that. This one has been in my makeup bag. This one has been the constant bronzer that I have been using as of recent, and I really do enjoy the formula. It really reminds me of the Physicians Formula Butter Bronzer with the way that it applies to my skin. It's very airbrushed, smooth, easy to blend out, The powder is really finely milled, and the pigment is like the perfect shade for me, where it gives me like a little bit of a warm touch, but it doesn't look overdone. It is one of my favorite bronzers. It's been in my everyday makeup bag. This is the one that I have been reaching for the most lately. And I ended up putting this powder product in because it is a loose powder from SheGlam, and I actually hadn't had a chance to use it yet. I like it because it is skin toned and it's in a natural color, but it's loose. So it's really nice to kind of swirl my brush in there and kind of add it to my face and set everything down. And it looks like I'm literally not wearing any type of powder at all. It doesn't look dry and cakey. It's very good setting powder, and I think it was only a couple dollars. This is the rest of the basket because there's a lot of stuff in here that like I've been finding, like I'll test something out in a video and then I'm like, oh, like I really want to keep using that. So it just gets added to the basket, and then I'm like, I haven't used this product in a while. There's only a couple of things that I'm actually going to be adding back in to the everyday makeup basket, and this is a primer that I have been meaning to use up, and I was really proud of myself for using up the other primer, so we're going to try and finish this one up. It's the Flawless and Poreless Primer. Woo! Like you can look at, I actually have quite a bit left. Like every single time I squeeze it, it feels like I don't have a lot of product left, but you can actually see in the light of this studios that there's still quite a bit of product left in here. Maybe not as much as what I'm thinking, but there's still quite a bit in here. This is one that we're going to use up. I found that this one is good for summer, and now it's transitioning into fall. Actually, this one is like, it kind of feels moisturizing, like a moisturizer, but then it dries down matte. And I've also found that it really evens out my skin tone. It fills my pores in. It's a really great like pore minimizing primer. And this one obviously is going to stay in the makeup bag. Some other face products that I had in here that we're taking out is the ColourPop. This is the Pretty Fresh Hydrating Hyaluronic Primer. This one is the e.l.f. Matte Camo Concealer. We're taking this one out, and then we're also taking out the ColourPop Pretty Fresh. This one is the Hyaluronic Acid Hydrating Foundation, and I did a full review on my channel. It's not that any of these products that I'm taking out are necessarily bad. It's just literally my bag is so full of stuff, like I don't even get to touch half of these products. It gets annoying. Like I'm like, this is just sitting in my basket. Okay. So that is everything taken out of my makeup bag. Now we're gonna go in and we're gonna put stuff back in. Obviously, you guys already know I am keeping in my bag the Flawless and Poreless Primer from Pixi. This is one that I wanna get used up. I wanna pan on it. I want it to be gone. I want it done. I do want more of a silicone adhering primer, and I found that this one works best with some of the foundations that I'm going to be using. It is the Ordinary High Adherence Silicone Primer. One is more hydrating and blurring, one is more of a gripping primer. Foundation. As you guys know, I have been working on the CoverGirl Skin Milk for a while now, and I'm actually going to try blending this in combination with some of the concealer that I found and also some of the foundation, like regular foundation that I have. The CoverGirl Skin Milk is a very lightweight, dewy formula, and I really like the way that it mixes well with some of the concealers that I have as well, so I can put this on as a base and then conceal pretty decently well, and it creates a really nice face. I did use this in a 1970s makeup video, and it turned out really pretty, really fresh, obviously because it's the Clean and Fresh line. But we're going to keep this one in here. I want to see how it does in the colder months as we, you know, venture into like snow season, and see how it reacts with my skin when my skin tends to get a little bit more dry. The other foundation that I am keeping, adding back in, is the L'Oreal Fresh Wear 24-Hour Infallible. And this one I did an unpopular makeup opinion on. I have a lot of problems with this foundation unless I use the proper primer for it. So it does work decently well with the High Adherence Silicone Primer. This one I bought in the summertime. I needed something with SPF, and I couldn't find any cruelty-free options, so I decided to go with this one because it had a lot of reviews, really good reviews, and everybody raved about it. If you want to go see the unpopular makeup opinion, I will actually link it in the eye for you guys so you can see it. But just to let you know, it only works with certain primers on my skin. It's kind of drying, so I think these two paired together, I'm hoping that they work better in combination with each other. And so we're going to keep those two foundations. That's it. That's the only foundation that I'm going to be using for the next month. And that's a little bit scary to me because there's some other foundations that I just absolutely love and use more often. I don't know if this counts as a moisturizer or if it counts as a foundation, but there is another, like, it's kind of like in between, but it's also kind of like a primer at the same time. So it's kind of like a mixture of all three. It's the Pretty Fresh Tinted Moisturizer with hyaluronic acid. I am so close to finishing this up. Like, it is so empty. I wish you guys could see like how empty this is, but I literally have a bobby pin so I can start like dragging the product down. I love wearing this on days when it's just kind of like a no makeup day where I'll put this on, I'll put on some setting powder that is skin toned and I'm good to go. But I really like using this also as a primer. I even use it as a moisturizer when I get out of the shower in the morning. It's like my everyday mom makeup when I'm not really wearing makeup. Sometimes I'll use it as an eyeshadow primer because it has the hyaluronic acid in it and it's not super overly tinted to the point where like it turns my eyes white, my eyelids white, but it's like the perfect primer for eyelids as well. So it's kind of like a multiple, it does a lot of things for me. One concealer. I'm putting in one concealer to my bag. I only need one concealer. I don't know why I have 20 concealers in my bag half the time. This is the Hydrating Camo Concealer from e.l.f. I love the formula because it is very hydrating. I like the coverage that it provides. It's actually a little bit easier for me to maneuver and set down when I'm doing my makeup. The matte one tends to dry down too fast and it looks a little bit cakey on my skin. So we're going in with two staple products of mine that I've had in my everyday makeup bag for a while now. This is the Hourglass Ambient Lighting Powder. This one I like when I go maybe just a little bit too over the top with like my bronzer or my blush, but then I can also use it as a setting powder as well. The other finishing powder that I really just want to finish up as well, this is an e.l.f. HD setting powder. Look at the pan on that. So close. I really like this one because it brightens my under eyes quite a bit and it really sets my nose nicely, and I have problems with things adhering to my nose. Those two are going to be perfect for this month. Very great milled powders. This one I usually use more for the under eyes and like around my nose where I tend to cake, and then the ambient lighting powder I use to kind of like buff everything together, let it mix really nicely. Now on to blush. I have a blush formula that I just recently received. I've actually used another color in this blush formula, and it's the She Glam. This is the Beauty Blush Palette, and it's an 04 Brick Red. So this is a super red color, and it is perfect for this time of year. It's a very, very soft matte formula, and it's so pigmented. I love the other color that I have. I think it's the lightest color, like a peachy color, but I decided to add this one in. This is going to be the blush that I am focusing on for the month of November. Then this month, we're just focusing on one bronzer. One bronzer, and it is always like a staple, everything I reach for every single day anyway, and I don't know why I had other bronzers in my makeup collection when I wasn't reaching for them. If you guys would like to see like things I reach for every day without them being in my everyday makeup bag, then definitely leave a comment below. This is the Physicians Formula Butter Bronzer, and it actually like broke when I was filming a couple weeks ago. It is my staple everyday bronzer that I wear. I wear this every single day. One more face product, and then we're going into eye product. Here I have the Nude highlighting palette from Essence Cosmetics. This is something that I discovered from the Kelly Gooch channel, and she actually featured this on her channel quite a few times, and I was like, I gotta try it. In a makeup and mom chat video, I actually opened this and I tried it out, and it was like super subtle, but it also is really buildable. I'm actually wearing it today as more of a very subtle highlight. I like that it comes with a mirror. It is a 4-in-1, so you have like a pink color, kind of like a lighter champagne color, and then these ones are more golden, but the formula is very creamy, very consistent. It doesn't like layer on your face weird. It doesn't create patchiness. It doesn't create texture. This is going to be the only highlighting palette that I'm going to use for the month of November, because last month I definitely think that having only 3 palettes to work with was like the most perfect. Like it was perfect. It was a good idea. Like I had one that was just neutrals, and then I had one that was like all over the place with tons of color, and then the other one was more like blues with some reds and yellows. I think that was like a really good combination. I got the most use out of them. The first palette that I want to add into this month's makeup bag is the Pure Raw Beauty Christie. This is the double-sided palette, and I did a full, like I finally tried it. This one has a colorful side, and then it has a neutral side. So here's the neutral side. And even on the neutral side, you have some like yellows in here, and you have a brighter, like, it's almost like a brick red color. I can use this for the holidays and create a really dramatic, colorful look, or if I want to go something that's a little bit more, you know, neutral, I can use this side of the palette, the neutral side of the palette. So this one offers a lot of like maneuverability when I'm looking for a really colorful, dynamic look. The other palette that I really want to kind of dabble in a little bit more and maybe use it in combination with the Pure Raw Beauty Kristi palette would be the new Too Faced Pumpkin Spice palette. I also use this in a Makeup and Mom Chat. Now, this one is kind of colorful, but it's more on like the dark side of colorful than on the bright side of colorful. And it does have those nudes in there as well. But I think that some of the foily tones, because that's what Too Faced is known for, will look really pretty with some of the really bright pops of color in the Raw Beauty Kristi palette. I really like this green shade over here. Some of the purple shades are really, really nice. Really want to dabble in this more. I think the two like together will create some really pretty looks, and they complement each other really, really well. There's one other palette that I want to add in, and it's specific for one reason, because there's a shade that I've fallen in love with. It is the Anastasia Beverly Hills Subculture palette. This one is known for being like a fall palette because of the color story, but it's also known for the really, really bad formula of the mattes. So far, I have used this quite a few times. I used it in a 1970s makeup video. I actually used this entire palette today to create the eye makeup look that I'm wearing, and it creates a really great like subtle smoky fall look. But I really enjoy the foils in this palette, especially this green one right here. Very creamy, very pigmented, and it's like a shift. It's a duochrome. That one has become a favorite. Like if I could literally depot that one and just put it in like a single, I would do that because it's just that good. Adorn, which is this color here, it's like a really bronze color, and the two palettes that I have in the other two palettes that we've just talked about don't have like that bronzy shade. Those are two that I've fallen in love with the Subculture palette, but I think that if I pair the Subculture palette with some of the really bright colors of the Raw Beauty Kristi palette, because they have, like, this is a darker tone, whereas the Raw Beauty Kristi is more of a colorful tone, I think we can get some really great looks with these. So we have like kind of more of a neutral palette. This one's more on a warm slash colorful palette, and then this one offers both neutral and colors, and I want to dabble more in a colorful palette. So I think that these three, with all the colors that they offer, if I want to do something that's a little bit more sultry but still colorful, I can do that. If I want to do something completely nude, I can do that. I can use the foils to create a really nice like holiday eyeshadow look, mix the palettes, take like a shade or two out of this one, a shade or two out of this one, and maybe a shade out of this one, and then we're good to go. And it creates better eyeshadow looks in my opinion. For eyebrows, I just have one staple eyebrow product that I have been keeping in here. It's the Arc Brow Micro Sculpting Pencil, and this one is from Hourglass. I got this in a BoxyCharm, and I use it every day, every single day. It is so good. And that one just stays in my makeup bag. And then I actually just received this. It's a Sol de Janeiro. This is a gloss. What is it? It's kind of like a chapstick. This is a tinted lip butter. This provides like a really great moisturization for my lips. My lips need right now, and the color is actually, it's like a brown color, but when you put it on my lips, it doesn't look brown, which is, it's there today. It really complements the natural color of my lips. It doesn't look brown. It looks more natural to me. It's a little bit darker, so it really fits in with like the fall theme. It's just a lip butter, and it really moisturizes it really, really well. And then throwing back into my everyday makeup bag is the Juvia's Place. This one is going to be a Mauve Moment. This is a matte bullet lipstick, and then we're going to use the Golden Splendor. This is from L'Oreal. I think these two like layered really, really well together will be pretty. Like if you put a Mauve Moment as your base and then use this one as the top, it'll be really, really pretty. Last but not least, in my makeup bag, we're just going to add in one setting spray, and it's going to be the Hydrating Milky Mist setting spray. I had two to get through last month, and I did get through them because they were pretty much empty. This one actually has, it's already halfway gone, and this is one of my staples that I always use. And this one, even in combination with the other two setting sprays that I went through for the month, I was still using this one a lot. So this is one that I really want to focus on for the month. It's hydrating, and it smells amazing. The Hydrating Milky Mist was not the last thing. I fibbed. Where did it go? I had a mascara, and I can't find it now. I had a mascara picked out, and I can't find it. I don't know if it rolled somewhere or not, but it was the Better Than Sex. It was a sample size mascara, and I was actually just going to use that for the month because it had already been opened. I'm not a huge fan of the Better Than Sex mascara. I think you can buy other drugstore mascaras that work a lot better and have a really like a better formula with the same brush. And that one is also in my unpopular makeup opinions. I'm actually wearing it today. It's not one of my favorite formulas, so I was going to add that one into the everyday makeup bag because it is a sample size. I just can't find it. I found it. It dropped on the floor. Now we're done with this video. I don't think I have anything missing at all that I forgot to like let you guys know about. Actually, like, if you guys take a look, it all now finally fits in my little tray, and this just sits on my table, and I reach for these every single day instead of it being in a makeup bag and then in my tray. That I am very, very happy about. Give this video a good thumbs up if you like it. Leave a comment below. Subscribe to my channel so you can see more of these shop my stash / updating my everyday makeup bag. This is me trying to just like get through my products and like actually give you guys like a good feedback on what I've been using over the past month. I will see you guys in my next video. Bye!